night Sakurakoji is heading home from school on a bus. Suddenly, she sees people being set on fire alive. Sakurakoji sees that one person is standing and calls the police. As soon as she gets off the bus, she starts running back toward the scene of the crime. On her way, she meets the police and tells them about what she witnessed. Together, they go back to the scene, but shockingly, there is not a single trace of what had been done. The next day in school, Sakurakoji meets Agami Rei, a new transfer student. She clearly remembers him as the same boy who she had seen with the burning people. Sakurakoji directly asks Agami about the incident, but she can't find any proof that he is the perpetrator. Nevertheless, Sakura promises to uncover the truth. She starts paying attention to Agami closely. After conversing with him, Sakura starts to think that maybe Agami isn't a bad guy after all. Again, Sakura witnesses another scene. This time around, she sees a man getting beat up. She screams for them to stop. However, these men tell Sakura to keep off as they are only trying to find their pals who went missing. Sakura remembers the fire incident. From the look on her face, the men think that she knows something. They ask her what she knows. When she refuses to tell them, they stun her with a taser and tie her up. A dog Sakura always plays with tries to get the men away from Sakura. Sadly, the dog gets beaten to the point of death. Just at that moment, Agami arrives. Sakura begs Agami to take the dog to the hospital. Seeing that the dog has no chance of survival, Agami ends its life. Then, right in front of Sakura, Agami uses his supernatural ability to eradicate all of them. Agami then walks up to Sakura and uses his powers to kill her. The next day, Sakura wakes up in her room. On her way to school, she goes back to the scene and vividly remembers Agami trying to kill her. In school, Sakura tries to tell her best friend, Aoba, what happened in the park, but Agami interrupts and threateningly places his hand on Aoba's shoulder as a form of warning to Sakura. After school, Sakura takes Agami to a crowded spot for fear he might try to kill her again. However, this doesn't stop Agami from trying to burn her. When she doesn't burn, Agami lies and tells her he is merely pulling her legs. Confused by his actions, Sakura asks him what he is doing. Agami explains to her that his job is to get rid of the evil ones and that if Sakura ever tells anyone about him, he won't hesitate to kill that person. Sakura also promises to keep an eye on him, so he doesn't kill anybody else. Agami receives a call where he informs the caller of his decision not to kill Sakura because she is a rare breed who won't burn even with his special ability. Agami and Sakura start keeping a keen eye on each other. Sakura follows Agami wherever he goes and Agami does the same. One day, Sakura follows Agami right into a Yakuza's den where he gets offered a job selling drugs. And once again, she witnesses him burning the Yakuza members and 2 corrupt police members. Agami decides to kill the drug victims but is stopped by Sakura giving them a reason to live. Sakura tells Agami he should have looked for another way instead of killing them. Agami tells her that is the only way. Out of nowhere, Sakura hugs Agami and tells him she won't give up until her words reach him. Agami tells her he doesn't want to be understood. In Eden, which is the Codebreakers' headquarters, Agami is given the mission of killing a politician known as Dietman Tabata. For the second time, Sakura's parents find her outside the door. This time, they rebuke her and ask her to tell them what is going on, but she lies to them. As she steps out of her house, she meets a stranger who tells her he was sent by Agami to go to school with her. On their way to school, the stranger who is Toki by name tries to seduce Sakura. Agami arrives and sends him far away from her with a kick. Like 2 enemies, the 2 boys get into a fight that was more like a display of special abilities. Having had enough, Sakura stops the 2. During the nighttime and Sakura follows Agami as she always did. As she does, Agami tells her about codebreakers being non-existent beings in society. He further tells her that even though they are alive, their existence has been erased and no one knows about them. Toki, who had been waiting at the location of the mission, helps them gain entrance by shutting down the security system and opening the door with his magnetism ability. As soon as they get in, armed men start shooting at them. Toki uses his ability to return all the bullets to the senders. On seeing this, Sakura, who had been a mere onlooker, steps in and stops Toki from sending the men's bullets back at them. 2 agile men suddenly come bursting through the door. The 2 muscular men start using mysterious special abilities to attack Agami and Toki. However, they suddenly start to run away. Sakura, Agami, and Toki finally make it inside. What they see are lots of children lying on hospital beds. Toki explains to Sakura that they are all children with special abilities. After they leave this hospital room, Sakura's dog leads them into another hospital room that looked more like a torture room. They come across Tabata. Toki explains to Sakura that Tabata Shigeru was placed in charge of the research. But he started carrying out unauthorized killings of children with low special abilities. The real reason for these killings becomes clear when Agami tries to burn him and a little girl appears. Turns out he had been looking for an organ donor for his daughter. Tabata shows no remorse for his actions. Rather, he justifies it by insisting he did it for his daughter. This angers Agami. Agami lets him know that that is no excuse to kill other people's children before setting him on fire. Agami and Sakura are walking along the street. A bike honks at them. On the bike is a young lady with striking blue hair. She asks Sakura to excuse both her and Agami. After Sakura leaves, the woman, who goes by the name Rui, tells Agami that he has been assigned to be Sakura's escort. A former codebreaker, Hitomi, has gathered the corpses of agents he killed. When his assistant Yukihina asks what he plans to do with them, he replies by saying it is to create a new world. Sakura and Agami head back to class from the rooftop when they spot a man dressed in black beating up the old guard. On reaching the school gate, Agami finds more of these men and starts burning them without hesitation. Sakura tries to stop him, but Agami tells her the men are corpses being controlled. Agami suddenly starts to experience pain and weakness all over his body. The corpses rush at him as he collapses into Sakura's arms. Fortunately, Kanda, an agent who is also a teacher in the school, arrives and starts shooting at the corpses. Agami attempts to stop the corpses from going into the school, but his vision becomes blurred as he collapses to the floor. The corpses gather around him, but before they could harm him in any way, Yuki, also a codebreaker, saves the day with his arrival. Heike, who is also a codebreaker, finishes off the rest of the corpses with his light special ability. He then explains to Sakura that he is lost, a situation which he refers to as the fate of all codebreakers. Unconscious Agami is taken to his apartment. Kanda is scared Hitomi may come to attack him there, and Sakura offers to let him stay in her house. The next day, early in the morning, Agami wakes up in Sakura's house. In his discussion with Kanda, he tells that the corpses were being controlled by special ability powers. Agami is very certain the former codebreaker number 1, Hitomi, is behind the incident. There is a sudden explosion outside Sakura's house. Agami goes to check and comes face to face with Hitomi. Toki and Agami try to use their ability to subdue Hitomi, all to no avail. They keep getting shocked by Hitomi's electric ability. Heike and Rui try to attack him, but he throws a ball of lightning at them. Sakura runs towards the ball and blocks it with her body. For the first time ever, Sakura uses her power as she stops the lightning without getting affected. Meanwhile, Hitomi's assistant, Yukihina, kidnapped the Prime Minister in the absence of all the codebreakers. None of the close breakers can tell why Hitomi kidnapped the Prime Minister. Sakura's dad tells Agami about how they had found little Sakura in their gate, all bloodied, took her in, and raised her as their own ever since. He pleads with Agami to protect Sakura. The codebreakers split up to look for the Prime Minister. Rui returns from her search with no leads. Somehow, she suspects Heiza. Turns out, she was right to suspect that he was working for Hitomi. Heike goes searching for Sakura. When he finds her, he lies to her that Agami was looking for her. It is not until she comes face to face that she realizes Heike had sacrificed her to join Hitomi's plan. Without informing Agami, Kanda goes to Hitomi's hideout on her own, only to get stopped by Heike. After he recovers from his loss, Yuki informs Agami of Hitomi's betrayal. On getting to Hitomi's hideout, they see Heike and ask him what he has done to Rui. An intense fight breaks out between the three, with Yuki and Agami attacking and Heike blocking their attacks. Later in the fight, Yuki tells Agami to leave Heike to him. On getting to where Hitomi is, he sees that he has got a hold of both Sakura and Kanda, and is now controlling Kanda by sending electric commands to her brain. Against her will, Kanda shoots at Agami, but he blocks it with his special ability. Hitomi lets him know that if he keeps avoiding the shots, then Kanda's last shot will be through her own head. Flame in hand, Agami runs towards Kanda even as she keeps shooting. Thinking Agami intends to kill Kanda, Sakura also runs towards her and grabs her just as Agami reaches them. Thankfully, Kanda's desperation helps her break free of Hitomi's control. Kanda asks Hitomi what has caused him to change so much from his former self. As an answer to this question, Hitomi asks them to look at all the clocks in the room. Kanda observes that they are all stopped. He then explains that each clock indicates the time of a codebreaker's death. He blames the Prime Minister for giving them the orders that led to their deaths, hence why he must pay for it with his death. He then asks Agami to join him in his revenge, but Agami strongly refuses, asking him how he could kill so many innocent people. Agami's words have no impact on Hitomi as he still insists that he will ensure codebreakers no longer have to die without people knowing of their existence. Before he finishes his statement, Agami is already running towards him with flame. Hitomi also prepares to attack, but Yukihina creates an ice barricade between both of them. Yukihina attacks Sakura with knife-sharp ice, but Toki arrives and blocks the attack for her. Before he leaves with the Prime Minister, Yukihina tells them the building will soon explode. Sakura gets into the car and leaves with Yukihina, Hitomi and Heike. When Hitomi was only 16 with a big dream of making the world a place where children can always smile. However, over the years, as his codebreaker friends and colleagues died, he began to lose sight of that dream. Years later, Hitomi becomes Code 01, and Agami joins the codebreakers as the sixth member. But even from the moment Agami joined, Hitomi has always seen Agami as someone who is too focused on eliminating evil. Even with all the deaths of his friends, Hitomi still believes everything's gonna be fine as long as he can get rid of evil and save lives. He however reaches his breaking point when he discovers a secret Eden refused to tell the code breakers despite knowing it could hurt and even kill them. He is placed on the wanted list after he attacks the Prime Minister. In the present, Hitomi announces to the public his intention to publicly execute the Prime Minister and also kill 50,000 people in the process. The bombs Hitomi have placed throughout the city started going off one by one, leading to the loss of lives and properties. An anonymous individual starts sending the locations of the bombs to the codebreakers. On getting to Sky Tower where Hitomi is, Agami tries to get him to reveal the locations of the bombs. When he refuses, Agami decides to force it out of him. But Agami stands no chance against Hitomi. The more he tries to fight Hitomi, the more he gets shocked by Hitomi's electric ability. Hitomi justifies his actions by claiming that what he is doing is not only for the sake of the codebreakers, but also for every child with a special ability that has been isolated and turned into a tool of research by the government. Toki and Kanda get to the Sky Tower only to be double-crossed by Heike at the elevator. Heike stops them from going in. This leads to Toki getting into a fight with him. As for Hitomi's assistant, Yukihina, he heads to the research institute to get the children with special abilities. Alas, he meets the shock of his life when Rui, whom he thought was dead, stops him from entering. Both Agami and Sakura plead with Hitomi to stop the bombs, but he is determined to see his mission to the end. Despite getting zapped over and over again, Agami is still not ready to give up. Not even after Hitomi makes him realize that Eden was using Codebreaker for its own benefit. Hitomi proposes that he and Agami join hands together, but he refuses. Hitomi has become evil and Agami is not ready to join hands with him no matter the cost. When this becomes evident to Hitomi, he decides to kill Agami. In the middle of trying to fight for his life, Agami goes lost. Hitomi is about to send the last electric shock that would have ended Agami's life. Luckily, Sakura intervenes, but Hitomi reaches for her neck and starts to choke her. The time for the bomb to go off is now complete. Shockingly, nothing of sort happens. Everyone, including the Prime Minister and Hitomi, is surprised at this sudden turn of events. But he doesn't have the time to be shocked for long as he discovers in no time that the one behind the cease of the explosion is no other than Code 02, Heike. Hitomi is still not ready to give up as he decides to use his power to activate the bombs. Yuki, Heike, Rui, and Sakura ask him why he's changed so much. He tells them it is all because Eden, the headquarters for codebreakers, keeps treating people with special abilities as if they're nothing. Agami, who had been holding back, unleashes his full power as he has never done before. Hitomi attacks with his electric shock, but this time around, Agami's flames swallow them up. After a long fight, Agami wins and burns Hitomi. As he slowly dies, Hitomi comes to realize how much he appreciated his time with his former colleagues. Despite being spent and dying, he still desires to take revenge on the Prime Minister, but all the codebreakers stop him. He takes his last breath in Agami's arms. After Hitomi's death, all the codebreakers are given separate works that require them to leave the city. Everyone, except Agami, goes to bid farewell to Sakura. Sakura goes to the place where she had seen Agami for the first time and smiles as she fondly remembers all their time together. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe AniLab for more videos. And how's the anime? Comment down below.